Get ready for the show. It stops to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns to liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What up, good people? Happy Thursday to you. Coming a little late for you. Wanted to do a post game for Thursday night football. Get my stream in for the day. And the whole crew, Clarissa, Fitzpatrick, like they got Puka Nakua up there. Yeah, they got the Thursday night crew, Amazon crew, talking to the end of this game. Good game, man. I know the score was a little bit, I guess, misleading. Vikings were in this game. Vikings had a chance to do something towards the end. They got a bad call with the face mask, the missed face mask. I don't know why they can't review that for an obvious miss like that. Why can't they have somebody in the booth that said that? Especially with everything else they're trying to do to protect quarterbacks, and you miss a obvious face mask like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it would have been they would have had to go 95 yards to score, but stranger things have happened, and that's why you're supposed to play the game. Sam Darnold was having a decent enough game until their offensive tackle got hurt. What's his name? Darisaw. When he went down, that's when they started having troubles. I think he ended up getting hurt like with 21 seconds left in the second quarter, right before they about to go to halftime. They had to help him in the tunnel. So they were right there by the tunnel. So they just walked him in there. But normally, if that had been anywhere else, they probably would have brought the cart out. So that's a shame for them. You losing your, was he right tackle, left tackle? What was he? He is their Christian Darisaw, left tackle, starting left tackle. So tell you what, man, what's going on with these teams and these costly games, man? Tampa Bay just had a costly game. 21 seconds left in the game, and who's that? Goodwin goes down. Looks like he broke his ankle, so he's out. Evans had already gone out with a bum hamstring. So there's something to be said. We bitch, moan, and complain about what they don't do at camp, but this is part of the reason why, because you don't want to get anybody hurt. Now, I am of the ilk that what you did in camp really is not going to prevent you from getting hurt now. Whatever happened to that, whatever happened to Darisaw probably would have happened regardless if he would have stepped in camp or not. Doesn't really matter. But it's a shame that you lose a starting player right before half, and there was a clear difference in Minnesota's play when he was gone, because I think Sam Darnold only had like 38 yards in the second half. They basically got shut out. Let me see. First half summary. First half. What's second half summary? Let me see. Second quarter. Third quarter. Do they have second half? I know I saw it. Yeah, of course, now I'm not going to find it. First downs. I know I saw it. Third quarter, second quarter. But I don't see the summary, though. First quarter. First half. They got the first half. I just don't see the second half summary. Dang it. But in any case, Sam Darnold ended up with go all the way back up. Sam Darnold ended up 18 for 25, 240, and 2 touchdowns. And Minnesota should have won this game. Minnesota should have won this game. They had 2 opportunities to score. They were in the red zone and they couldn't get it done. They had 1 touchdown. Sam Darnold hits the guy right in the hands. I forget who it was that dropped that pass. He probably would have caught the ball on the 7-yard line. He may have had to battle to get to the goal line, but if he doesn't score, they got the ball like inside the 2 or something like that. So they missed like 2 opportunities in the red zone to score, and that would have put them up top. Stafford was just slinging the ball everywhere. He was 25 for 34, 279, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. So they were both kind of slinging it. Sam Darnold was very efficient until their starting tackle got hurt, and wasn't really much you could do after that. But it wasn't like I said, Minnesota should have won this game. They had opportunities to win, and receivers weren't catching the ball. That wasn't no Sam Darnold. It's just their receivers were dropping balls, double covering JJ. They wasn't gonna let Justin Jefferson beat them, so they just kept going, forcing somebody else to beat you. And those other receivers could not get the job done. Jones, Oliver, Addison, Naylor, Munt, and Sherfield. I know one of those guys was a tight end. Tight end had a pretty good game today. Josh Oliver, he had a pretty decent game today. 2 for 30. I thought he had more catches than that. Justin Jefferson, 9 catch, 8 receptions, 9 targets, 115 yards. He didn't score, though. Longest was that juggling catch he had for 27 yards. That was incredible. But they had opportunities to win, man. They had opportunities to win, and they couldn't come up with the plays when they had to come up with the plays. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, but it was a good game, though. Minnesota's still a good team. LA is still a good team. I wonder if they're still going to entertain those rumors about Matt Stafford getting traded. That was at the topic of conversation. And it was supposed to be a swap for Sam Darnold, I saw. I was like, I don't know where that came from, but why would the Vikings do something like that? So I don't know. I don't know how true it was, but nothing's gonna come from it now. So that was an expensive loss for Minnesota because they lost their tackle. Because they lost their lead tackle, offensive tackle, that might be an expensive endeavor because it was clear they were not the same in the second half. It was very clear. Sam Darnold was under duress for the whole second half. He couldn't do nothing. What's up, William? So yeah, man. They gotta do better than that. Definitely gotta do better than that. So we'll see what's gonna happen. William, we're gonna get into the Eagles in a minute. But yeah, it was a good game. Justin Jefferson got busy. We're gonna see the Eagles are gonna see 2 good receivers in T. Higgins and Chase this weekend in my hometown of Cincinnati. So that should be a good matchup. I want to see if our defensive line can continue what they've been doing. So that should be a good one, man. That should be a good one. So I'm excited about that game, man. I'm gonna try to get in touch with some of my homies at home, my cousins, my family. I know my one cousin will probably be going to the game, and I know there's a lot of guys I went to high school with that always tailgate. I'm gonna try to get on with somebody tomorrow while they're, or Sunday while they're tailgating and stuff like that. Did they they moved that game up, didn't they? They flexed us up again. That's 2 weeks in a row we've been moved. So are we 1 o'clock? Damn, we 1 o'clock again. So we early in the morning, but I'm good with that. We play at 1 o'clock. We've been winning, so let's keep playing at 1 o'clock. That's how I look at it. So, but it's all good, man. Let me see if I can do this. I hope this don't screw up. Hold on. See if I can do this. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to change my backgrounds based on the topic I'm talking about. Um, just trying some new stuff. I got to get a better graphic than this. I like this, but I want something a little bit more, a little cooler and a little bit more dynamic. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, well, what's up with you, William? Yeah, it's 1 p.m. That's what I was just looking at, man. So, uh, we got we got to take care of some business. I'm gonna try to make it a point to watch a little film on the Bengals tomorrow because I think our defensive line has got a chance to put some pressure on Joey Burrow, but they got some weapons, and if you give that young fella time, he will burn you because he is one of the elite QBs. And we really need to see something a little bit better from Jalen Hurts this weekend. We got to see that, man. He's got to be able to throw the ball. Again, we talking about the same things. It's not anything different. Nothing has changed. You want him to get rid of the ball on time and on target. And it looks like he's missing some people, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Everybody's talking about him just missing receivers, but sometimes if he's not the read, Jalen is structured to the point where if his reads are supposed to go right to left, he's looking right to left first. And I don't think he has it in him yet to just be able to absorb the whole field and kind of see things before they happen. I don't think he's quite there yet. He might get there, but like I look at some of these other quarterbacks that can't move, can't run. They just strictly drop back, and you know what? They can look and see and recognize and pick people apart. I don't think Jalen Hurts can do that. It looked like he could do that a couple years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, but right now it seems like he's struggling to recognize what he's seeing, or he's so locked in on a receiver because it looks like he's going to his first read, then the second read, then he's taking off. But the other part of that is he gun shy now because he's had so many turnovers? And lately, he's had turnovers where he's trying to hold the ball, step up in the pocket, stay in the pocket so he can deliver a throw, but they're getting strip sacks and batting the balls down and stuff like that. So maybe he's a little bit gun shy. But I say, hey, do what comes natural to you, man. Go through your progressions, find the open man, but get that internal clock going. So you know when you hit 3 seconds, it's time to bounce. It's time to go. Take off. Make those linebackers respect you. Make them DBs pop up and respect you. And that'll open everything up mid to deep. Also, you got to just, and this is nothing new, especially now that the boy done got player of the week 2 weeks out of the season. You gotta start with Saquon Barkley early. And it can't be, you got to come up with something that's going to get him positive yards, period. That's the best thing you can do because that'll let the defense know you in for a long day. So right off the bat, I'm not running out of gun. I'm running out of pistol. And I'm going right behind Lane Johnson. That's what I'm doing. So we've got some things that will work. The first 15 plays, that was a big thing a couple years ago, but everybody does it. Your first scripted 15 plays. You're trying to get something going. I think the Eagles will score in the first quarter this weekend. So we'll see what happens with that, man. We'll definitely see what happens to that. So I'm wondering. We got some things to work on, and we got to start getting the ball in the middle of the field. We've been talking about that all damn week. And that's something that Jalen's just going to have to do. If we can live and die with 20 or less passes, this is no different than what I thought in 2022. If Jalen throws the ball 25 times or less, we're in good shape. Now, he's become a better passer than he was, but because we're not running the RPO, and somebody pointed out something that I never thought about. They changed the rules for the RPO. The offensive lineman can't be so far downfield like they were in 2022. They changed that rule, and that's affected how we run the RPOs and how effective it is. So they've pretty much eliminated it because now they're calling the penalties where illegal man downfield. Now, if you're running an RPO, the offensive line doesn't know if you're running or passing. So they have to block like you're going to run it. And then the quarterbacks can see what he sees. If he can get rid of the ball and get it over the top, that's what he'll do. But the offensive line does not know that. So if you got an offensive line where they're 4 and 5 yards down the field and the quarterback hasn't thrown the ball yet, they're calling those. When in the past, you could pump fake and take off and you got blockers with you. But when they changed that rule, they kind of eliminated that. So I never thought about that. But that is definitely a contributing factor to why Jalen Hurts is really not running as well as he did 2 years ago. You can get some scheduled runs in there, and we still have situations where, and I think you can plan this and try to block this as best you can, as long as they don't bring some type of blitz or twist or something like that, where you can try to wall people out and then have them sneak up the middle or sneak up left or right or something like that, depending on what you see in their schemes and who's lined up on who on the offense and defensive line. That's the most important thing. Who's head up, who's shaded, who's linebackers off, are they in the gaps? Do you have a DB walking up that's going to give the threat that they're going to blitz? There's a lot of things you got to look at. It's not just black and white as people think. There's a lot of nuance to it. And it really depends on what you're seeing from the defense, what kind of scheme they're running, what kind of techniques they got, where they're lined up. The film, what they learn in film sessions is going to show them whether or not somebody's coming. And the offense just pretty much has to, recognize it, audible out, and call the adjustment. So we'll see what Jalen can do. It's good that he played better against the Giants. I know Cincinnati, do they have a losing record? Yes, they're 3-4. So they're still looking pretty good. But you got to get on there and play the game. We're in their home turf. So we're going to the jungle. So we got to be ready to rock and roll. But I think we'll be okay. I think our defense has got to show up. Vic Fangio, come on, man. Come on. We done had 2 subpar. We had 1 out of 2 was a subpar performance. Against the Giants, we looked much better. But now, of course, everybody wants to see the same type of performance, but they want Jalen Hurts to have about, 4 to 10 more pass attempts and pass completions. Because everybody just assumed that you can't be a sustainable winner running the ball first. I beg to differ, but they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to try to force feed you the pass as much as they can. My thing is, if that's what you want to call, you still got to go with what's working. And looking at last week, and heck, even the week before, running the ball is working. Point, period, in the paragraph. What's up, K-Sap? Yeah, that was a blatant face mask, man. That was how come they can't review that? I don't know. Next time I'm in the NFL meeting, man, I want to ask Troy Vincent, are they looking into doing something different about that? Because that was blatant. However, that might open up Pandora's box. Because then what can you review? What can't you review? Are there going to be some penalties that you just can't call on a review? Because that's the other thing. You don't want to be looking at the review on every play, because that's what it'll end up being. So, but I just thought on a situation like that, where it was blatantly obvious that they would have get it, he's probably going to get like a little fine from the league, but it doesn't stop the play. So, it is what it is. but they're gonna have to do something different. Definitely have to do something different. So um we'll see what they're gonna do. It's gonna be it'll be another situation like that, but it'll be in like a NFC, a conference championship game, playoff situation where a lot of people on the line. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on it, and the consequences or the results are gonna be horrible because something like that might cost somebody a playoff game. And that's what the NFL doesn't want to happen. Because like, dude, we've been talking KSAP, we've been talking about damn referees all week with the WNBA stuff. People still pissed off about that referee situation. I just dropped a video today about that, man. I was like, we still talking about it. So um now in the NFL, they got all the technology that you could ever want, and they still not using it right. Still not using it right. So ain't nothing you can do now. They can't take the call back. They're definitely not going to change the game. But hey, it only takes one opportunity. That's only one. That's one Justin Jefferson pass away from a tie game, or at least the opportunity to tie it with a 2-point conversion. But they got cheated out of their last opportunity. It is what it is. So, KSAP, what'd you think of the parade today? If you watched it. I was watching some news streams while it was happening, and I'm curious as to what you thought about it. I put out a post where I was asking anybody in New York. I was like, talk to me. I was like, what's the crowds really like? Because they kept showing them tight shots. So I was curious about that. Yo, I had to show you this case out. This was so this was I found this somebody posted Sabrina with her jacket on, with her championship jacket on, and my comment was, I wonder if she got a 1 for 19 patch. So you still one of my favorites, Sab, but yeah, that 1 for 19, we ain't gonna let you forget that. But the ring still fit. The ring still fit. So I ain't too mad. I ain't too mad. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. I thought it was better than I expected it to be. There were a lot of people on them streets, but it wasn't. I was asking that question because the first feed I started watching was, I want to say it looked like it was like Channel 4 or something. So I don't know if it was New York, whatever it was. It definitely was a New York news station, but they were like in one spot and they kept showing everything and where they were. It didn't look like a lot of people. Then I found another feed. I don't know what street they were on. I don't know what's the street with the Wall Street Bull. That's where they were. And there was a lot of people lined up there. And then I saw, I'm not sure where they ended up because they kept showing where they were setting up the seats and all of that kind of microphone and all of that kind of stuff. It looked like a official building, a library, something like that. So, um, you know, I thought they had a good showing. It looked like there was more people in New York than it was in Las Vegas when Las Vegas won it. So, they got what they deserved, got their parade. People opening their windows, throwing ticker tape everywhere. So that was fun to watch, man. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to New York, man. Congrats to New York. So I was actually working on a video for tomorrow. Yeah, 28 years. Are they the last team to win it? Last original team? I think that's what they said. They've been to the finals a few times, but they just never got over the hump. Took a little help from the refs. But they got it. They got it done. So I saw my I don't know why this was released the first week or the second week in October when they were talking about Kelsey Mitchell and she signed with the China team. And I'm like, why is that getting so much pub all of a sudden now? I kept seeing people roll out and was talking about it. I was like, and I'm finding articles that came out October 9th, October 10th. So that was last week, almost 2 weeks ago. But they talking about it now for whatever reason. I guess um the information about our contract was supposed to be like $1 million deal or something like that. She about to get paid. Shanxi. Yeah, she signed with Zhangji. Let me see. So she will play in China. I think it's called Zhangji. I was looking this up. I found a site. It was very difficult to navigate this site to find out like teams and schedules and stuff like that. It was very difficult. Yeah, Zhangji. So they've announced it. So apparently it was a pretty big deal. KSAP, I'm liking that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm liking that. I like Stephanie White. I think the Fever would be much better with her. If Christy Sides was a coach, if she was a better coach, they could have squeezed. I want to say they could have squeezed probably about 4 more wins this year in the regular season. Because I think, in my opinion, we lost. Indiana lost like 3 or 4 games because of Christy Sides. So that can't hurt. Stephanie White, I like Stephanie White. I like what she did with Connecticut. And yeah, I'm glad Indiana's talking. And the fact that they are talking kind of basically seals the deal, because I'm sure Christy Sides don't want to be a lame duck. So probably it kind of seals the deal for what she's going to do. But I know they don't want to announce anything, because what happened if Stephanie White gets another offer? Then what happens? So so yeah, they keep switching up, man. But I want to see. I'd like to see another coach. I like Christy Sides, but keeping it a buck, she was not. Yeah, she didn't get it done. She didn't get it done. So if Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell did not do what they did, they would probably be in a worse situation. They probably would have looked like Chicago towards the end of the year. So who was the comments? Was it the Houston? He was the Houston comments? That's what it was. Because I was looking at that website today, and let me see if I can find that. NBA across the timeline. Yeah, this was it. This is a pretty good site. This is a pretty good site. So I can go back in time and look at some of these games. What I originally was looking from this site was I was looking at like all of the attendance. I put together a video. You guys saw my last video where I was talking about see if I can find it. I just put this out the other day. So yeah, this one right here. These two. But it was basically this one. So talking about the difference, like the WNBA opting out and the leverage they now have because of the popularity. All the stuff they got with Caitlin Clark and all of that. how that's manifesting now, um, that gives them leverage. And Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, um, they're bringing in eyes. It started with Caitlin Clark. I tried to make it. I tried to make it fair because yes, it is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Asia and New York and everybody. I was like, but let's keep it 100, man. The biggest reason why they're getting the media rights deal and all of these other things that are happening, and everybody's finally getting their flowers. A lot more people is starting to pay attention to Asia Wilson, um, and Sabrina Ionescu and Stewie and all of these people that we were talking about for so long. And of course, the whole league was, we've been here too, we've been here for the longest, we built this, blah, blah, blah. And that leaned into the narrative that the women of the W were in fact jealous because she was getting all the attention, rightfully so, but they were still jealous. And it was like, I remember saying this, like, she can't get all of the endorsement deals. She can't make all of the commercials. So eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to just have to spill over. And now that's where you get all these other players. They finally getting these opportunities to get the commercials and stuff like that, because just like anybody else, companies know they're not going to be able to get Caitlin Clark. So what's the next best thing? If they can't get the next best thing, if Caitlin Clark is it, but the next best thing is Angel Reese, or the next best thing is Asia Wilson, well, what happens if they not available? Because they get their deals, you got people running around New York and Chicago looking for green Cash App machines. They done already started making content about that with the new Angel Reese deal with Cash App. So they're generating interest, they're generating money. So they've got a hell of a lot of leverage now because of what everybody's looking for. And it's not necessarily a bad thing now when you get a lot of these European players that want to come over to the W. Now that Kelsey Mitchell is going over to China, because rest assured, China's going to be watching the W next year. For sure. Definitely going to be doing that, especially when they paying money like they paying. You don't do that unless you're going to get a return on your investment. So my nephew a year ago was playing in Indonesia. And I know how those people over there look at basketball. They superstars over there. And they would never be that maybe back in the States. They wouldn't get that opportunity because I don't think he might not ever get a chance to play in the NBA. But he's making money very similar to what I did when I played in the World League. Trying to get back in the NFL, but after I got released from the Eagles, bounced around, went to a couple camps, ended up getting drafted in the World League, won a championship and all of that kind of stuff, but you still playing and people still appreciate you in other places. And at the end of the day, you doing what you love to do and you still getting paid. Except in this case, Kelsey Mitchell might be getting $1 million deal. I ain't mad at her. But one thing that's going to bring up is Gabby Williams talked about getting screwed out of a year because of the Chicago Sky when that whole thing happened. That's got to be one of the things that the new CBA addresses. Players that play overseas and in Europe League and China and places like that, when they get back on U.S. soil, they should be able to be signed by a team, or if a team has their rights, there has to be better protection for those players. The situation that happened to Gabby Williams can't happen to somebody else because they got her. They got her good because that was expensive. And I'm saying that not from a monetary standpoint. That is very expensive when you take a year from somebody's career because you never know what's going to happen. Time is the most valuable asset for an athlete. Time is the one thing once given you cannot get back. And you took a whole year from this girl. Chicago had her, traded her while she was over in Europe. And then when she got back, because whatever this rule was, she couldn't play. So they screwed her out of a year. So I don't blame her. And I feel bad because I heard her speech. She jumping the gun about paying players and stuff like that. Like, listen, the media rights check ain't even cleared yet. You got a ways to wait on that one. But at least now you're in a better option because the WNBA Players Association would have been stupid if they would have waited until 2027 to renew that CBA. If they would have waited that long, all of them should have been fired. So they doing what's right. I saw a lot of content today where they were talking about the WNBA is playing with fire. Are they going, just the narrative like they about to screw themselves trying to get greedy? I'm like, no, they're not trying to get greedy. This was expected. The owners expected this. The Players Association expected this. The commissioner expected this. This was supposed to happen. They just got a new $2.2 billion deal. And you think the same agreement that they've been rolling with for the last 5 years or whatever is going to stay when they're not making no money? So you knew they was going to change up, and they should. The owners know what they're going to do because when it's all said and done, the owners are going to make more money. That's why it's collectively bargained. So it should be a good situation. I just hope they don't get too greedy. I hope the players' reps have a game plan and they work it. So I want to see everybody, and we got to be realistic because they're getting all this money, but all of these players ain't going to all of a sudden start making $1 million a year. It's not going to happen. But realistically, they shouldn't have a 4-year contract for $240 a year. These girls should be making at least $150, at least that much, and higher. They try to mislead you with them numbers. You got a $260,000 contract, and it's a 3 and 4 year contract. It's like, the math ain't math. So now they have an opportunity where most of the girls can make over 6 figures, easily over 6 figures. And now everybody's going to get endorsement deals and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they got different ways to make things last a little bit longer. Because I know Kelsey Plum talked before about when she was in Vegas and you make that money, but they give you a place to stay, they give you a car to drive. So those are 2 bills off your table. So there's different incentives that they get based on accommodations and where they are and all that kind of stuff. Plus, if you play for somebody like Indiana, the cost of living in Indiana ain't high as opposed to New York. You got a 3-year deal for 200-something thousand, so you making $78,000 a year, and you live in New York, or you live in LA or Golden State. So those are things that you have to take into consideration, and the new CBA is going to do that. So what am I watching? That's a concert on Amazon. I don't know who this is. But anyways. Coach, who was the young lady that trained with Kobe? You talking about Sabally? Satu Sabally? I was watching her interview today with Paul George. If she comes to Indiana, oof. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing because she's a much better player, in my opinion, than Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston, there's some things that she need to work on in her game because this game is about to evolve. The next 4 years, the players that they have coming in, these bigs have better get themselves a mid-range shot. Because this whole thing is about to change. Because I guarantee you, we're not going to see what we just saw in the finals again. Look how dog tired they were in the finals. What the hell are they going to do in the 7-game series? They're going to be crawling up and down the court. So, a lot of things to be settled out. A lot of news to come. There's going to be more players announcing that they're playing overseas. I would imagine that there's going to be a lot more news coming out about Unrivaled. They keep saying that they're in trouble and they're supposed to be getting ready to get this Lionel Messi type offer to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark already said she don't want to play basketball in the offseason. That girl is going to be on somebody's golf course chilling. She's going to be working out in the gym in the afternoons, but she's going to be playing 18 holes and going to be on the teeing off at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, because the girl loves to play golf. So we'll see how that works out. We'll definitely see how that works out. So it'll be interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens with this Unrivaled thing. And I think the reason why they're pushing so hard for it is because I remember when they made it a big deal when they started announcing players and such sign with Unrivaled and stuff like that. Because I know they were kind of digging at Caitlin Clark because she hadn't been asked to play in the league yet. But when they made that announcement, I guess it was TNT that was supposed to broadcast the games and all that kind of stuff. TNT is looking to make money. So they have to have they need a marquee name in there, and they know Caitlin Clark is that marquee name. So that's what they were looking for. They trying to push Caitlin Clark because they know Caitlin Clark is going to bring in viewership and they're going to make their money back faster. That's what that comes from. But she already said that she don't want to do it. I hope she stick to her guns. It doesn't play. I hope she watches on television like everybody else. And then you really going to see what it is. I was not a big fan of the 3-on-3 stuff that I saw in the All-Star game and that I saw in the Olympics. I wasn't a fan. But hopefully this will be better. I know they can do some things with graphics and all of that type of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. So we'll see how that's going to go, man. And a lot of stuff coming, man. A lot of changes coming. So, but I'm going to get up out of here, man. I didn't want to roll that long. Just wanted to talk about the game, and I just get on the conscious stream, and we done went from Thursday night football to Sunday football with the Eagles to back to the WNBA, and we just keep it moving. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm definitely gonna have some stuff tomorrow, some more pregame stuff about the Bengals and the Eagles. So stay tuned there, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.